We've been very lucky. My mother was the Queen for a very long time.
Princess Anne's latest revelation has sent shockwaves through the royal family. At 74, she's finally shared a secret that's been buried for years: King Charles's final wish. Until now, no one outside the inner circle knew the full story. But behind closed doors, this wish has sparked tension, confusion, and disbelief, especially from Prince William and Prince Harry. So what exactly did the king ask for? Why was it kept hidden for so long? And what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? Stay with us as we uncover the shocking truth behind King Charles's final wish. Prince Anne and King Charles' strong bond. In the history of royal families, there are times when being king is not just about wearing a crown, it's about facing big responsibilities and making tough choices. For King Charles III, who became king back in September 2022. That time might be now. His health has been getting worse since January 2024, and people are starting to notice. Some even believe his time could be coming to an end. So, like anyone in that situation, Charles has started thinking about what he will leave behind. And since his official will might not be made public for 90 years because of royal rules that says that the will of senior royals would not be read until 100 years after their passing, King Charles has decided not to wait. Instead, he has chosen to share his final wish now, and he's trusted just one person with it, his sister, Princess Anne. But why Anne? Why not someone else? The reason Charles picked her for something this serious might really surprise you, because it shows just how important this wish is to him. Keep watching to find out. King Charles and Princess Anne have always shared a deep and unshakable bond. They were born with just 21 months gap. They were each other's first real companions in a life that was anything but ordinary. While the world watched them grow up as royals, behind the scenes they were just a brother and sister trying to make sense of it all, together. One of the earliest signs of their closeness was how they leaned on each other during their childhood. When their parents, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, were away on royal tours, which was often, King Charles and Princess Anne spent most of their time together. They played, studied, and explored the palace grounds side by side. It wasn't a normal childhood, but at least they had each other to go through it with. That built a bond that never really broke. As they got older, they remained close, even though their personalities were very different. King Charles was sensitive, introspective, and a bit shy. Anne, on the other hand, was tough, practical, and always spoke her mind. But instead of clashing, they found ways to support each other. Anne often stood up for Charles when others didn't quite understand him. Even during their teenage years, when the spotlight grew brighter, she protected him in her own quiet way. In fact, one important moment that shows this was during their time at boarding school. Charles hated Gordonstoun. He described it as colditz in kilts. The environment was rough, cold, and isolating. But Anne, even though she wasn't at the same school, was one of the few people he confided in. She understood his struggle and kept his confidence, never mocking or dismissing his feelings. That kind of sibling loyalty is rare, especially in a family as formal as the royals. Then there's the moment from the 1980s when the royal family was going through serious tension. Charles's troubled marriage to Princess Diana was everywhere on the internet. The press was relentless, and the pressure was crushing. Through it all, Anne didn't take sides publicly or feed the gossip. She stood by her brother, offering quiet support when he needed it most. Even more recently, after the death of their parents, Anne and Charles were often seen together at key events like the annual King's Foundation Awards ceremony. They were also seen walking side by side during Queen Elizabeth's funeral procession, exchanging private words at memorial services. In those emotional moments, you could see their shared grief, but also their comfort in having each other close by. It's not loud or flashy. Their bond is not something they show off, but it's there in the way they move together, speak with ease, and stand shoulder to shoulder when it counts. Charles trusts Anne not just because she's his sister, but because she's been a constant in his life since day one. She knows him better than anyone else. Not only does she know him better, she has a track record of keeping the royal family together in times of crisis. She gave strong support to Queen Elizabeth II and helped the Queen stay connected to people across the UK and the Commonwealth. This work ethic started young. In 1970, when she was just 19, Anne joined the Queen and Prince Philip on a long tour of Australia and New Zealand. It was her formal entry into royal duties. She wasn't just their daughter on that trip, she acted as a working royal. The exposure helped shape her future role early. That same year, Anne began working with Save the Children UK. Named president in 1970, she stayed in the role until 2017. For nearly 5 decades, she helped run humanitarian projects, giving the monarchy a stronger voice in the charity world. Queen Elizabeth saw this work as more than kindness. It was also diplomacy. Charity work gave the crown a softer image, and Anne's steady involvement helped give the royal family moral recognition in other countries. While her brothers made headlines for different reasons, Anne focused on her job. This pattern lasted for decades. She went where needed, represented the Queen without fuss, and stayed out of trouble that hurt the reputations of other royals. And when the Queen died in September 2022, she gave the same loyalty to King Charles III without hesitation. After the Queen's passing, Anne took on new roles that made her continued importance clear. On May 6, 2023, she was gold stick-in-waiting at King Charles's coronation. The position, dating back to the 1400s, made her one of the king's personal guards during major events. Riding on horseback in front of 6,000 armed forces, her presence showed she was firmly in step with the new reign and still central to royal tradition. But that was just the beginning. What followed showed her true role in the new reign. The year before, this trust was made official. In November 2022, Parliament changed the rules to name Anne a Counselor of State. This role had usually gone to the monarch's spouse and the next 4 adult heirs, but her decades of service earned her the spot. As a Counselor of State, she can sign documents and attend meetings if the king is away. With some royals stepping back or facing health issues, Anne's role helped keep things running smoothly. By early 2024, Anne's workload put her at the top of the family's engagement numbers again. From January to April, she completed 172 public duties, more than 31% of everything done by the entire royal family in that time. While King Charles reduced appearances for cancer treatment and Princess Catherine stepped away, Anne increased her efforts. She filled in at events and visits, especially in areas that hadn't seen royals in a while. And that is why King Charles saw her as the right for the job. So what was the king's last wish? Let's find out. King Charles' finial wish. According to palace insiders, King Charles's dying wish is centered on Queen Camilla. More specifically, he wants to make sure she remains protected and financially secure after his passing. The Queen Consort, who has been a serious subject of debate within the public and press, is now being positioned by Charles as untouchable. And the shocking part is that King Charles is leaving the enforcement of that wish in the hands of Prince William. Not only that, but he's also giving William the power to decide Prince Harry's fate. That's right. William now holds the key to whether Harry will be permanently cut off from the royal fold or welcomed back into it. But in return, the king is making something else very clear. Camilla must be shown absolute respect, and her place in the royal circle must never be questioned. This move isn't just about titles or tradition. It's personal, deeply personal. Charles knows his time is limited, and he wants to leave things settled, not uncertain. By giving William this authority, he's trying to put things in order before it's too late. He's also trying to protect the woman he's loved for decades, no matter how controversial that love has been. It's a delicate balance of power and responsibility. William is now being asked to manage one of the most emotionally charged family dynamics in modern royal history, while also carrying the future of the monarchy on his back. He's stepping into a role that's not just about leadership, but judgment. And whatever decision he makes about Harry, it will shape the royal family for years to come. But King Charles's final wishes did not stop there. What many people don't know is that he's left something even bigger, something more symbolic, in the hands of his sister, Princess Anne. That secret was quietly revealed when Princess Anne stepped in for King Charles during an investiture ceremony at the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh. On the surface, it looked like just another royal duty, but it wasn't. It was a message. It wasn't just about filling in for her brother, it was a powerful moment, a quiet, respectful sign that something far more important was happening behind closed doors. Charles was starting to step back, and Anne was stepping forward not as a ruler, but as a protector of the crown's stability. According to what Princess Anne later revealed, King Charles's main concern isn't himself, it's the future of the monarchy. She said, his final wish is for everything to stay steady. That one word, steady, carries a lot of weight, especially in royal circles. It does not just mean calm, it means unchanging. No drama, no division, no sudden moves that could shake public confidence. What Charles is really saying is this: keep the family together, keep the public's trust, and keep the crown standing, no matter what. Now, it will surprise you to know that the main wish that left Harry in shock was not directed to him. It was directed to someone he loved so much, someone who changed the course of his entire life. It was about Meghan Markle. Yes, the woman he gave everything up for, the one he left the royal family to protect. According to what Princess Anne revealed to sources inside the palace, King Charles has made it clear that he wants Meghan Markle to be included in his final moments, not just as Harry's wife, but as part of the royal family. His wish is for Meghan to be given a role in the official mourning period and the funeral events. A front-facing position, visible, included. And that's not all. Charles also made it known that he wants Harry and Meghan's children, Archie and Lilibet, to be present as well. That means his mixed-race grandchildren, who have spent most of their young lives in America, would be part of a major royal event, not in the background, but right there at the heart of it. It's something Harry didn't expect. After all the tension, the interviews, the headlines, he assumed the door was shut. But his father's wish told a different story. It wasn't just about ceremony, it was about reconciliation. But now that King Charles has left his wish, it's not more up to him, but those he entrusted with this responsibility. Stay with us because we are about to reveal something that might change how you view the entire monarch. The rise of a new era. William and Kate step into the spotlight. Now that King Charles has released his final wish, it is now clear that he is planning for a future beyond his time. In that vision, William and Kate are not just onlookers, they are at the front and center. Charles's final instructions, relayed through Princess Anne, made one thing clear, and that is that the future of the monarchy had already started, and it revolved around the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Although Charles is still active as king, he is slowly letting go of some responsibilities. This is part of a long-planned operation called Operation Menai Bridge, which outlines what happens when the current king can no longer serve. While this does not mean Charles is stepping down right now, it does mean he is carefully preparing his son to take over. Prince William has always been calm, loyal, and dependable. Over the past year, he began attending more high-level meetings. He is included in decisions about state visits, foreign policy, and even how the royal family handles public issues. This is more than just advice from a father. It is training for a future king. At the same time, Kate is also becoming a more important part of the monarchy. For many years, people have admired her for her kindness and grace. Now, inside palace walls, her influence is growing. She attends more solo events, speaks out on issues like early childhood development, and becomes a symbol of calm during public events. One example was her heartfelt speech at the National Portrait Gallery reopening, where she spoke about the power of art and community. Together, William and Kate show what the future of the royal family could look like: steady, caring, and in touch with the people. The royal family has faced many challenges in recent years, including Prince Andrew's scandals, but Kate and William have taken it upon themselves to reshape how people see them. This was seen at the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy, where William took a leading role in the ceremonies, meeting veterans, and representing the crown. This was a public moment that revealed to the world that he is ready to carry the monarchy forward. William now feels the pressure. The spotlight is brighter, and expectations are higher. But he shows confidence and focus. It doesn't matter the event he attends, whether he's visiting a hospital or attending global events, his presence carries more weight. He is not just a prince anymore, he is becoming a leader. Kate, too, grows more powerful. She is not just supporting William, she is leading her own causes and helping shape the family's future. One of her standout efforts is the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, which she continues to develop. Her warm presence makes her one of the most trusted members of the royal family. As all these events unfold, one thing becomes clear. The next chapter of the monarchy is already beginning. It does not wait for Charles's final day. It grows quietly through the daily choices, appearances, and leadership of William and Kate. They are not just preparing for the throne, they are already shaping it. But what does the future hold for Prince Harry? Curious? To find out, stay tuned. Prince Harry's crossroads, his role still uncertain. With the recent developments, Prince Harry now finds himself at a major turning point. Once a full-time working royal, loved by many for his charm and honesty, he is now on the outside of the royal family, unsure of where he belongs. With his father, King Charles, planning for the future, and his brother, Prince William, stepping into more responsibility, Harry's role becomes less clear by the day. The turning point began in January 2020, when Harry and his wife, Meghan Markle, shocked the world by announcing they would step back from their royal duties. The couple moved to the United States, saying they wanted a more private life and the freedom to build their own path. They spoke about the pressure of the royal lifestyle and the emotional toll it took, especially on Meghan. Since then, Harry has made several public appearances, most of them outside the UK. Harry worked on projects with Netflix and Spotify, and gave interviews where he shared deep frustrations about the royal family. One of the biggest was the Oprah Winfrey interview in March 2021, where Harry and Meghan discussed racism, mental health struggles, and a lack of support from the palace. These comments created a major rift between Harry and the rest of the royal family, especially with his brother William. While Harry was building a life in California, the royal family back in the UK was moving forward without him. William and Kate took on more royal duties. King Charles, after the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022, made it clear that the monarchy would be smaller and more focused. Harry and Meghan were no longer part of that picture. One of the most emotional moments for Harry came during his short trip to the UK after the Queen's death. He walked with William and other family members behind the Queen's coffin, but observers noticed he wore a suit instead of his military uniform, a sign of his changed status. Even though he served in Afghanistan, he was no longer allowed to wear the uniform at royal events. Then came the release of his memoir, Spare, in early 2023, where Harry openly criticized family members. He spoke about arguments with William, feelings of being left out, and the pain of growing up in the royal spotlight. The book sold millions of copies, but it also deepened the divide with his family. Now, with King Charles's health-raising concerns and his final wishes being communicated through Princess Anne, Prince Harry stands at a critical crossroads. Will he honor his father's wishes and find his way back into the royal fold? His next steps have never been more important. Will he continue down his current path, focused on media projects, charitable work, and private life in California? Or will he start to rebuild bridges with his family, possibly returning in a limited, more formal capacity? Recent signs hint that Harry may be open to a closer relationship once again. In May 2023, he returned briefly for the coronation of King Charles, though he left quickly afterward and did not join the family on the palace balcony. In early 2024, after hearing about his father's cancer diagnosis, Harry flew back to London to visit him. The meeting was short but meaningful. Royal watchers say this could be the first step toward healing, but the road is not easy. Harry's public comments and actions over the past few years have hurt many within the royal family. At the same time, he feels hurt and misunderstood too. That's why he stands at a crossroads today. He must choose: continue building a life far from the royal world, or begin the slow and careful work of rebuilding trust with his family. Neither path is simple, and both come with personal sacrifice. But here comes the twist: lessons from royal history. To truly understand the weight of King Charles's recent decisions, we need to go back to a key moment when Queen Elizabeth II gave him her final wish. According to reports, she wanted one thing above all, for her family to be united again. She believed that fixing the relationship between Prince William and Prince Harry was important for the future of the monarchy. But after her death, Charles did not follow through. Instead, the divide between the brothers grew, and tension in the royal family only got worse. Now, with Charles facing his own health problems and thinking about the end of his reign, Charles is in a similar situation, but this time, he's making choices from a place of regret. Regret that he did not do what his mother asked, and did not bring his sons back together when he had the chance. Still, his recent actions suggest he's trying to make things right. Including Harry, Meghan, and their children in important roles at his funeral is not just for show, it's a sign. A sign that he's trying to repair what's been broken, the bond he failed to hold together. Of course, some wounds take time to heal. Harry and William's relationship is still strained, but there's hope. If the royal family has taught us anything, it's that healing can happen when we least expect it. Just like after Princess Diana's death, when the public and the royals slowly came together in grief. So maybe we shouldn't give up on Harry and William, because history has a way of repeating itself and surprising us. As King Charles's final wishes unfold, the world will be watching to see what happens next. What do you think about the king's final wish? Do you think there's still a chance for a united royal house? Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out the next video, popping up on your screen now. You will like it.